I talked to a scout the other day about the roster, and we didn't know at that time, and really changes still could be made even at this late date. A few years back, we had a left-hand pitcher named Nolan Becker, and he was out of Yale University, and he came in with the team and practiced for 2 or 3 days with the ball club, went through all our media day introductions and had a uniform for him with a nameplate. And he rode with us up to West Michigan, Grand Rapids, where we opened our season, and got there. We left the night before. The next morning, he first flight out, headed to, I think it must have been Daytona. It was whoever the Reds high A club was that particular year. And so changes can be made, if they would pick a player up off of waivers and send somebody down, then that's going to move someone from AAA to AA and someone from AA to us. So changes still could be made really up until the first game on Friday. But at this point, going back to what I said, Jeffrey, I talked to a scout and we both agreed the Dayton roster is absolutely stacked. And I said, it sounds like the 2017 club. And to give you an idea, that year we had Tyler Stevenson, Jose Siri, Taylor Trammell, a whole team full of quality all-star type guys, TJ Friedel, we had Tony Santion. It was a team full of all-stars. I said, this reminds me of that 2017 team. And he said, it's actually better. Now, if you ask me, I think right around maybe 2010, 2011, the Reds farm system was probably at its strongest. If you go back to that particular time, you had guys like, you had, Drew Stubbs and Chris Heisey and Juan Francisco and Justin Turner and Jay Bruce had gotten to the big leagues by that time. But then behind that group, you also had like Paul Yanish, a very deep group. And you had behind that group, you had Billy Hamilton. And at that time, we thought Yorman Rodriguez might be a quality major leaguer. It didn't work out as well for him. But you had a number of Donald Lutz got to the big leagues. Tucker Barnhart was in that group. It's sort of, they've restacked now, and it looks even stronger.
With every name that you've said, I keep saying, wow, like April 8th, opening day, get here. There's going to be so much to watch here with all these different prospects. When you look at the pitching side of things, what's a name of a guy that maybe folks aren't really looking for? Like Marinen's kind of there. And you also talk about Connor Phillips, the player to be named later, who everybody was really intrigued about because
I was
kept hearing about all this stuff about the player to be named later. Who's the guy that you kind of heard and you went, wow? Yeah.
Well, in terms of a guy that doesn't have the resume, but has maybe the potential to do some things. Interesting story, Jeffrey. And fans who've heard me broadcast, they know I'm all about these rags to riches, came out of nowhere. Nobody expected anything from him, and he's outperformed. Okay, so we've got this guy, James Proctor. He's a starting pitcher. He played college ball at Princeton. Okay, we just talked about top college baseball conferences. I don't think anybody would put the Ivy League in there. Now, no knock on him, but
not a lot of Tiger alumni running around in the minor leagues.
You know what his record was at Princeton? 2-15. 2-15. Okay,
Right.
2-15. What round do you think he got drafted? He didn't get drafted at all.
I was to say undrafted.
Okay, so he goes last year to Daytona and just tears it up.
Okay.
He's like he threw the first 5 innings of a no-hitter. He had an ERA of under 2 as a starting pitcher. Came to us at the very end, and so we have him. And I asked a scout the other day, who have you seen in spring training pitching wise that has really taken a step from last year? And the first name he mentioned was James Proctor. Now, if he was as good as he was last year, and he's taken another big step, okay, so we went from 2-15 to basically an all-star, add another big, what do we got now?
Right.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing him though. So that's a guy that, nobody knows about, that some of the scouts really do know about, because they watch him and they say, this guy's got 94 to 96 pretty consistently. Smart guy, obviously coming from Princeton, and interesting guy.
So we've talked a lot about the roster. We've talked a lot about the guys on the field. Obviously, there's a ton of reasons to come to a Dragons game. As we lead into opening day, what kind of stuff do you guys have going on for the first couple of weeks for fans coming to the ballpark?
Opening day for us is like a holiday. And we put, I always look at the other two examples I can think of where opening day is kind of like the biggest game of the year, and that would be NASCAR, the Daytona 500. Opening day is Daytona, and that's their biggest race of the year.
Mhm.
For us, opening day is kind of like unless you go to the playoffs, opening day is your biggest game of the year. And for the Reds, it is too, really. I mean, it has been forever. This year's different because they're opening on the road and then coming back for a sort of an unscheduled opening day in a sense. Yeah. So, but normally it is. So we have the Dragons organization really commits a lot of resources to family entertainment. And when I say resources, we have a whole department here that is well-staffed with a lot of brain power aimed at investigating, researching the possible ways that we can come out with something on opening night that is going to be most entertaining to the families. Our target market is families. And there's plenty of people like us who like to watch the games and predict which one's going to be the next Joey Votto or Jay Bruce. But really, we're in the minority. Let's face it.
Sure.
If it wasn't that way, then some of the reality programs on TV would be outdrawn by some other sporting event that but that's the way it is. So our focus in many ways is on family entertainment. So opening night's a big day for us. We've got a lot going on. I'm not going to give away too many secrets, but we put a lot of effort into a big first night. We have what is sort of like an American Idol national anthem contest for opening night, where I think we got something like well over 200 videos of individuals or groups singing the national anthem or performing it on an instrument. And we picked the best one for opening night, and the others are going to go. We've got 66 home games, so a lot of the others will have another day. We have a high school choir that is coming out for opening day as the national anthem. That'll be fun. We're televising. If you're outside of the Dayton area, and I know a lot of your viewers are, you can get us on. It's a great deal. MILB TV. Now, one thing about it I don't like, and I hesitate to promote it sometimes too much, I lose my audience on radio for road games because they pick up the home broadcaster for MILB TV.
Right.
So if I go on the road, everybody I say tune into MILB TV, I'm saying tune away from me. So it's not what I really
Don't
like to
that.
do. Yeah. So it's when we're home, you're going to get the Dragons broadcasters. When we're on the road, you could still get us if you take the time to sync your video with the iHeart app, and you can pause your video so that it catches up with the iHeart app, and you can get radio from us and video from, if you really are inclined to go that far about.
So it's probably a secret thing, but Brian LaHare flying in from a hovercraft atop the Dragon's Head?
That's not going to happen. We do have some things. We've got a C-17 flyover. We've got a band on the plaza that's always great for the sort of the atmosphere environment. We've got some of the things we often do on opening day, like a dove release. It's just a unique novelty type of night, and there's only one of them every year, so it's fun. We keep our fingers crossed for good weather on Friday the 8th, and whether we get great weather or not, it'll still be fun. And that's going to be our first look at the Dragons team.
It's going to be awesome.
Well, we are on location in Dayton at the home of the Dragons. If you don't have your tickets yet, you can find them online. The website directly is at DaytonDragons.com.
DaytonDragons.com, and click on the tickets tab or tickets link, and that'll get you to individual game tickets or some other opportunities we might have that you could be interested in, and maybe coming out as a group or larger ticket package than just a single game, but you can obviously buy a single game ticket there as well.
And I hear they can be hard to find, so you might want to grab one.
This is a good time to do it.